This time I'm going to do less talking, and I'm hoping and I'm wanting more success. I'm trying to share this with you. This is my public apology to the NAACP here in the absence of in Massachusetts. After listening to this, you will understand why they cannot represent anybody that's blacks, Latinos, anybody of non-color or color, because you cannot take them to court. The legislator, the mayor, the governor has put a cap on this office that they have that's supposed to allow you access to public records on misconduct of police so that you can take them to court. And because you cannot gather this evidence to take them to court, this is why no lawyer here in Massachusetts would take this. This is why I was so emotional about putting out these videos, informing you all of civil rights being violated here. Now, if you go to the head of the government that's violating your civil rights, why are they in these offices? They should be dethroned because their job is to protect these legislative laws that are in effect to allow the government to run smoothly, and they're not doing their jobs. They need to resign. This video is going to shock you. I posted it separately, but I wanted to put an apology behind it. Again, to the NAACP, the ACLU. That's why I can't get an attorney, because they can't have access to the information that I could take them to court, the city of Boston, and sue them. That's heart-wrenching to be violated in this way. They do not need another appointment in office. Matter of fact, we need to start taking resumes like any other job that you would apply for. They need to be under the same kind of scrutiny. Let me see if I can get this to play without stopping again. I don't know if it's the way I'm holding it, but having trouble playing this for you all entirely. So I'm going to hold it up even higher.
Much of the information uncovered by the NBC 10 investigators comes directly from records obtained through the Commonwealth's public records law.
Yeah, but getting our hands on these records, it can take weeks, months, or in some cases, years. Tonight, NBC 10 investigator Corey Smith explains why the public's right to know is sometimes stymied by what some consider to be the Commonwealth's culture of secrecy.
There is a lot to love about Massachusetts, but one thing Bay Staters and folks in our business can't stand is the Commonwealth's well-known lack of transparency, especially when it comes to public records. The folks fighting for your right to know believe that culture of secrecy trickles down from the governor's office and the legislature to state agencies.
Let me get this out of the way.
We, in theory, have a public records law that allows people to get access to just about anything, but in practice is full of holes.
As a freelance journalist who reports on police misconduct,
I apologize for the glare. I had to close my curtains.
Agencies just act as though they're above the law, and
They are above the law.
Public records requests if they don't want to answer them.
Quebert has practically seen it all. He's had agencies charge astronomical fees to gather records, erroneously claim they're exempt from being disclosed, or ignore his requests altogether. In one case, Quebert says he waited nearly a year for Mass State Police to provide him with 2 spreadsheets.
One of the most well-funded agencies in the state, and they simply will not respond to a records request if they don't want to.
Quebert says this
Ain't that sad?
through agencies across the Commonwealth. It's why journalists like him and First Amendment advocates like Justin Silverman are calling for changes to the law.
It's just a very weak public records law that, on its face, should grant us a lot of
It's already a public record law.
It doesn't.
Silverman is the executive director of the New England First Amendment Coalition. He says the governor's office, legislature, and judiciary being exempt from the public records law encourages noncompliance among other state agencies, with law enforcement, like the state police, among some of the worst offenders.
Shame on you,
State police have
Massachusetts.
been recognized nationally for their secrecy.
According to the Secretary of State's
Secrecy.
office, the Massachusetts State Police have received thousands of records requests every year since 2020. By law, an agency can ask for an extension of the 10-day response window, file a petition to charge more than the $25 per hour maximum fee to gather records, or claim one of nearly 24 exemptions to limit the information released through heavy redactions like these, or withhold the records altogether. The public does have a right to appeal, and each year hundreds are filed with the state's supervisor of public records.
We can make our case, and we might even get a ruling in our favor, but ultimately, in order to enforce that ruling, we have to go to court.
Silverman says that
Have
has
to
to
go to
change.
court.
Both he and Quamere want the supervisor of records to have enforcement power.
The supervisor of public records has to have the ability to just, take these agencies to court, to sue them, and to force them to comply, instead of just having this system where, they can't do anything.
Can't
With
do
a new
anything.
colonel at the helm, Silverman believes state police now have the opportunity to bring more transparency to the agency.
Reset the department how it works as far as how it withholds information, how secretive it is. We need to take that secrecy out and make sure that there's a presumption of transparency.
Now, we reached out to the Secretary of State's office about those calls to give the supervisor of records enforcement power, and we're told the office supports the move. While the legislature has not granted that authority,
The
last
legislator has
state
not
requested
granted
the
this
opportunity
authority.
to
Ain't that a...
legal fees in
Never
certain
mind. Let me
circumstances,
stop.
which in turn has made it easier for requesters to pursue enforcement through the courts. Corey Smith, NBC 10 Investigators.
Today, the state police issued a statement saying, in part, that, quote, they remain committed to earning and maintaining public trust by delivering excellent police services and fulfilling our responsibilities under the public records law. The agency acknowledged they receive a large volume of complex record requests and have a dedicated public records unit staffed to process these requests as they are received.
Okay, let me shut this up. So here is why you cannot get lawyers here in Boston to represent you, because the evidence that you have against them is in their possession, and they're not going to give it to you by order of the government. Where is the United States Justice Department? They have to follow the law. That's where states get their funding from federal governments, by also protecting the citizens. They give you, each state, federal money to protect its citizens and to make sure that these laws are being upheld, that provisions are provided for the residents there, such as your SNAP programs and your disability, any kind of financial assistance from retirement or anything. It's a budget. Anyway, Massachusetts is not earning the federal money because they're violating your constitutional rights and your civil rights. Because one thing, if they discriminated against you, that's your civil rights. Violation of your constitutional rights is the pursuit of justice. You can't go to court. So my apology, sincere apology, NAACP, ACLU, American Civil Liberty Union. You can't get the information that you need to file a lawsuit for these people, and they physically and mentally attacked me. And they had the green light because you can't take them to court. Now, I've recently also just posted some disturbing news. Shouldn't have, but that's part of a trigger thing, when it's distressing. I giggle a little bit. With the state police here in Massachusetts. including murders, involvement in 2 different murders. One involved a Karen Reed. They tried to say that she killed the state trooper who she was going with by striking him with a vehicle, but the autopsies revealed that he didn't die from those injuries and that there was more behind the scene. I've shared some of that video too because there was corruption going on with setting this woman up to take the fall to what kind of dispute that was going on involving state police, I'm sorry. And the other one is the Rodriguez case. I want to make sure I have his name, where he was a cadet at the Massachusetts State Police, and he was hazed, and he was murdered. And I found another video of this West Indian gentleman who was going to that same academy that knew this young man. He was told that he needed to take his behind back to Hades, that he was never going to graduate. I also posted that video. Sad. I've also started to post some more things about, basically, it's the Massachusetts State Police. One was caught smoking meth in a vehicle, police vehicle. Then another one I posted where this other one is selling pills with meth and fentanyl and all of that in it. And they're nationally known for being in the news all the time by doing criminal acts. They are in the news more than criminals committing crimes or average crime. It's the police department, the police department, the police department, the police department. Anytime they can violate you. Oh, and one cop just got sentenced for rape. State trooper, state police. And he raped this girl for over 1.5 years. He just got life sentence. So it's not that I'm an attack on them. It's an awareness of what's going on. See, that's why Boston media won't put this information out. They are hiding this information of public records from the media to go on and post your stories. I wish there's some way CNN could get in here and but they talk to the people. Get their stories out maybe by viewing some of these videos and putting it out there that, especially that one where they're denying you access to public records. This is what happened in my case. They illegally went after me by trying to abduct me, which they removed me from my home. Same thing like they did to Monica. Not the same thing, but with Monica Cannon, when you speak up against them, they look for ways to go after you. They couldn't use nothing else against me. Her husband got killed, murdered by a state trooper, state police. He was the one that struck him on his motorcycle. And I was told that she had to get her son out of Massachusetts because she was afraid for his life as well. But in my case, I filed charges against one cop for falsifying a police report. And then it took me 1 year to file an assault because they denied me the right to even file a police report when my management company busted in my apartment, insulted me with my door to come over to a vent and say they smelled cigarette smokes I'm lying in my bed. I just fell. I got two scarred up knees. My son went to the door. Now, how can I be in two places at the one time? Because they said the cigarette butt and ashes was on the ceiling, but these windows only open up that far, and it's got a permanent screen in there that you can't raise up. But see, black people are liars. See, as long as they white and got superiority, they're going to believe them. So they use that with the police department to say that, oh, they're undesirables, or they this and that. So the cops come in with a certain force, and it's protecting you from filing police reports. And this Detective Becker, he never interviewed me or my witnesses, never did an investigation into my claim. But he did ask my son for that racist video, Peabody Properties admitting to discrimination through this black manager who they tried to fire. Because she was sharing with me. And my friend, who was white, Cindy, got her on audio. Describing the forms and the techniques of racism that they use, and it was basically a scare tactic to try to get you to jump up in the middle of the night and move out of your apartment. So I don't want to go too far off. I'm looking at my cats. I don't want to go too far off based with what I'm saying. And I pointed the finger out of anger and just hurt that, there's no protection. And wondering why these agencies won't assign me nobody. This is why I found out MCAD, Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination, closed it, wouldn't give me an appeal, because this is what they're instructed to do by elected Democrats here in the state of Massachusetts. Wake up, people. Wake up. This is why I was so crushed. And saying, where are you all, NAACP? Where are you all? Why can't I get a lawyer? It's impossible for them to get the information from them. Now, getting back to this state trooper who was just convicted yesterday, sentenced, I think, to life for raping this girl for over 1.5 years. But if we can get stories out like this, do you know the prevention that could stop this? Or the amount of cases that would come up that would stop this from going on, this police brutality here in Boston? Because that's what they did to me. I suffered from PTSD, and years it suffered. Okay. Because of the harassment, it's on the video. And they use my anxiety and depression to label me a crazy person. See, that's why I told my doctor when he suggested that I needed somebody to talk to about this. I said, oh, no, I'm not going to talk to no doctor about this, because I don't want my name connected to anything like that for fear that they will use this against me. And that's what they did. This Detective Becker came and talked to the management company about the incident of the assault, the one he said was a deadly weapon with my door. Then why didn't he charge Peabody Properties with murder? Are we jokes that they can play with like this? Are we not human beings? Do animal rights have more rights than humans here? So the incident happened February 14th. Never forget that day, 2020. Now he came with and spoke with her about of May 2021. And she said, well, I couldn't have possibly be here at that time because I was having an operation. Now, this is Boston's finest, right? So he made a comment which is discriminatory, and I got it in writing from the MCAD, that he said, I think something mental going on with her. I'm going to close this case. So when I revealed this to the Greater Boston Legal Services, she said, Ms. McLeod, that's discrimination. And she said, that's like saying you got diabetes and they can't come and represent you because you're diabetic. She said they can't do that. So I also told my doctor this, and she said, that's discrimination. She said, they can't do that. So I can't even go after this officer for discriminating against me with that even comment. So that's why they used the abduction. They interfered with a medical call with me asking my doctor for some sleeping pills because for 2 days I was down in the office with the community builders who fired Peabody Properties for racial discrimination. Because I told them, I've had it, I got to get out of here. I will abandon this apartment rather than continue to take this abuse. And that's when they said, oh, no, Miss McLeod, please give us the chance to treat you like a human being. Please give us a chance to treat you like a human being. They gave me a self-cleaning litter thing for my pets because Peabody Properties tried to get the court to remove my companion dog and my 2 cats that were born here, saying I wasn't authorized to have pets. This is the kind of things they went after me like. My doctor was so furious. I didn't even have a therapist, and he went and got this doctor to write a companion form to submit to them. So when we went to court, that was one of the orders that I get a documentation saying I have a companion pet. And he said, don't you get rid of none of them animals. What do you need? He said, you hold on, I'm going to go. And he called this doctor and got her to write the proper paperwork for me to have my companion pet. They tried to take everything and attack after attack after attack. Whew. Thank God I was delivered from all of that. I said, let no weapon form against me prosper. They got evicted, not me. So, getting back to this detective who invented his own charge. And that abduction, they were trying to put me somewhere where nobody could find me. They would only hold me for 2 weeks. But when they took me, they said they wouldn't take me. That EMS supposed to take you where you want to go. They were trying to pull my son because the officer called my son and said, you need to get here. Your mother's got ambulance and police. I don't know why she was so happy because we were telling her all the stuff about what Peabody did, and she didn't have to worry about them no more. They're gone. What changed in a matter of hours? So my son got called off of his job, and he had to come home. Now, he works with patients. So while he was here in my apartment, all this is supposed to be on video now. This is the video that's supposed to be public records. that I could dispute because of a hateful false police report. And EMS, I say, damn, were they all in the same apartment? Because according to the police report they sent me, I was running around talking about I'm going to overdose on heroin. I'm not a heroin addict. I'm not an addict. I'm not an alcoholic. And I don't have any mental problems. That's my glucose going up. And other than suffering from what they caused me through trauma, through fear tactic. They announced what they use to go after people to get them to get up in the middle of the night and run out of their apartment. And they would let me know this is what we could do to you. See, they violated the laws, and that's why I call it a kidnapping, because they're supposed to take you where you want to go. And I wanted to go where these people knew me, that they follow me, they know what I'm going through. But they took me to Beth Israel Hospital. Luckily, I said, this is my CPA. They wasn't supposed to let my son in there, but God is good. He was there. The doctor said, I've talked to you. He said, my doctor called, and my son said, hey, this is her doctor. Will you talk to her? He said, sure. So he said, I'm going to excuse myself out of the room. I'm going to go talk to her. And then when I come back, I'm going to grab your son, and I'm going to talk to your son. So came back in after speaking to the doctor, asked my son to come out. When he entered back into the room, he said, I've talked to you. I've talked to your doctor. I've talked to your son. He said, all of y'all have told the same story. He said, now I got to go back and find out why Bess and the Boston Police Section 12 you. He said, I am so sorry. He says, I'm processing you out of here right now. This is what they did. Went after Monica. Had her go in the federal court for false charges. Got thrown out twice. Wound up, her husband got, they say, killed through a motor vehicle accident by a state trooper. They said the autopsy, word in our community is they murdered him. He was a white guy. Maybe he didn't like the idea that she was married to a black activist. But the story was she got her son out of Massachusetts because she was feared for his life. So, share this story if you can. And I want to draw attention because this is going to be a big issue maybe in your state with this violation of civil and constitutional rights. Massachusetts has been doing it all along because they don't want to go to court or tie their court system up other than trying to evict people. They don't want to deal with racism. And it's not just racism. Because that girl that got raped for over a year by a Massachusetts state officer was white. And there are others, like that man said, they don't choose the color who they're going to mess with. If they're breaking the law, including smoking meth in a police car, got caught, selling pills with meth and selling fentanyl, state police, DUIs. It says they are known nationally for always being in trouble. But they got the okay to break the law against you, and you can't get your public record to take them to court to sue them. As big as the state of Massachusetts is now, why ain't there no cases? That's how I like to deal in facts. So I'm going to get up here, reheat my coffee, and grab another fresh cup. Sun is shining. Feels like a beautiful day out here in New England. Like the news said, this is a beautiful place to visit. It's not the people. This is a crime governor of Massachusetts. This is a crime mayor of Massachusetts. This is a crime senators in Massachusetts that you are obstructing justice and should resign immediately. Or get up off of your behind and make sure we can get access to our records. They caused me damages. I ain't gonna talk no more about it. I done paid them water bills. I'm not paying them no more. I'm not giving them the satisfaction of even getting upset about it anymore. Because it's been in God's hands. God has left this on my face. I know I won. I took it to the top. And I found out who I could point the finger at. And that's why I started hounding the governor's office, the mayor's office, the senators, the legislators. I started taking my arguments to them, and they won't call me back. And that's how I knew. And see, God is filling in the puzzle for me, the puzzle pieces. He's like, Beverly, don't go blaming NAACP anymore. They evicted them out of the state of Massachusetts. Or any other lawyer that won't take this is because they can't gather your information to support your claim to go in the court. That is a serious Massachusetts state violation. And the United States government Justice Department, FBI, not the Massachusetts FBI, out of the White House need to come in here and reinforce that right to privacy law, because I requested that video because it didn't make sense with that police report. What? Were they in the same apartment? Because I got 5 reports from the EMS that said none of that shit happened. The video said none of that shit happened. And the response I got back from them after my son put in the request for me, because he was here, they said that they cannot release the video to me because they need to protect the persons in the video. They need to protect the people in the video. How you gonna protect me from me? So these are the lame excuses in the game they're using. Please share this. We need the whole country to know that this is the elected government that we elected in Massachusetts to represent this people, that are paying these officers paychecks, and none of them have to be accountable for it. That's why crime is so rapid up with them against crimes against the citizens. Their job is to protect and serve, not assault, not murder. Please share this. This needs to go out. This crime that the government in Massachusetts has to stop. These people need to be addressed by the media and hounded. Why are they allowing this to happen? This needs to have attention drawn to it. So I'm lucky I was able to, after umpteen many tries, get these 2 stories together so you can understand what my fight is. Thank you all. God bless you. Love to smile. Like this woman said, she said it for me. He said, they watching you, but they can't understand why you wake up every day with a smile on your face. My recipe, seek Yeshua. Seek Yeshua. That is my recipe. You know, it's only one ingredient. Use it. I love y'all and have a blessed day.